everyone, I'm Ailu from Plants by Lulu and welcome on my channel. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and let's go. So I have been to a big plant sale market type of thing, but it is one vendor and it's from Plants pour Toi. I think they're French based. They started in France and they have the most events there. But they also go to different places in Europe, and so they also went to the Netherlands. I went to the event and they advertised it as a place where you could get a lot of normal houseplants for relatively cheap, and there were some special plants. They kind of advertised it there's something for everybody. So I went and there were a lot of normal alocasias, a lot of normal dracaenas, a lot of ZZ plants and leafy philodendrons, which you can hang, but there were also like more compact philodendrons, and there were rubber plants and just a lot of common houseplants. There were different palms. So I think that was very accessible, and a lot of the big houseplants were 29 euros or 30 euros, which is not that much. In garden centers, they're mostly between 50 and 100 euros. The smaller plants were mostly 10 to 20 euros, depending on the size and rarity of the plant. But I wanted to talk about some new species I never saw on other plant markets or plant sale events, and some that are kind of common, but I haven't seen them in a while. So first, there was the Alocasia Jacqueline. That was pretty cool to see. I have seen them in garden centers, but still, every time I see it, I'm kind of like, whoa, it's now more readily available. I have seen Alocasia Fridex and Monstera Perus. They seem to look a lot like the Obliqua, but they're called the Peru. Also, there were different cacti. Those were 3 different cacti, and there were also smaller cacti, but these looked very cool and gorgeous, and I am a cacti fan. I didn't bought anything just because I'm kind of on a budget, but I really like the middle one. Besides the ficus bonsai that you have, there were also 2 other types of kind of stemmy plants that were kind of meant to look like a bonsai type of plant. I also thought that was very cool because you don't really see that often in garden centers. Then you had your typical Thai, and I say typical because I have seen them a lot in garden centers, so I'm not surprised by them anymore, but it's still cool to see. You had the variegated spathiphyllum. I think it's called the domino, this one, but I really like that they had them because I have not seen them in garden centers at the moment. Then they had this type of philodendron that was in the small plant mix. So it didn't have a name. It was just on the label, it said mix. I don't know what type it is. It kind of looks like a mix of the Painted Lady and the Jose Bono. I'm not really a fan of to keep them, but I like to look at them, and those are the kind of succulent stones. Here we have like the common calatheas, rubber plants, begonias, but also anthuriums, and I thought that was also very cool to have that section of kind of more common plants, but still cool looking plants and colorful plants there. Then there were 2 plants which I found very cool, and they were kind of new to me. I never encountered them, and so I thought it was very cool to see them in person. The first one was this one, which was called Epiprendum chinto. I think this is kind of like the Epiprendum, but with yellow in them, and I've never seen that. So the variegation looks like an Epiprendum variegata, but it is with yellow. Whenever a plant has a variegation version, I kind of automatically assume there is gonna be a yellow version, but most of the time that's called Aurelia, and this one I think is different from an Aurelia type. I'm not sure, I'm no expert on this, but that's what I thought was cool. And the last one I thought was cool was this one. And this is called the Monstera Frozen Freckles. But it's like a monkey mask, and you have the variegata, and that has variegated white sections. And this one is kind of moldy, and I don't personally really like the look of this because it kind of looks like it is a bit sick, but a lot of plants have these types of variegation these days, and it's still cool to see there's a different type now than the variegata. So those were the plants that stood out for me and that I thought were mentionable. With the last two, I was very surprised to see them. And when I saw them, I just thought I need to make a photo to show you guys. It's not a sponsor, but I think compared to garden centers, they're cheaper. So if they come to your country, take a look. You have to sign up and you have to register so they know how much people will come, approximately, but it's free. So just take a look, just check it out and have fun. Please leave down in the comments below if there was a plant that you liked or you wanted to have. And if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe and like button, and I will see you in the next video.